Cypri has lived here for many years, conducting research on monsters. When he catches sight of the ragged doll in Melanie's hands, his face slackens in shock, and he reaches out for it. Without breaking his gaze away from the doll, he begins to speak.
Oh, he's got a weird monster on his hat. It's freaky looking.
Cypri tells you he gifted this doll to his young daughter a long time ago, but she fell gravely ill and died. Since then, Cypri has treasured this doll as he treasured his daughter. Then the monsters took it from him. Cypri turns to Melanie, his head bowed deeply in gratitude. So you reclaimed the treasure by complete accident. You step closer to Cypri.
These are all terribly rude. Oh, well, tell us about the dragon.
What do you know about the dragon? You rudely inquire. Cypri gestures as if to say, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Far to the east of town is a place called Unionville, where monsters and humans live together in harmony. According to Cypri, you might be able to learn something there, as the dragon and monsters are not totally unrelated. Upon hearing that, you turn on your heel to leave. Cypri calls out to stop you. Journeying to Unionville entails traversing the dense expanse of the bewildering wood. You'll need this, he says, and holds out something for you.
Oh. Woodland flute. It's a pretty
You
ocarina.
won't make it through the bewildering wood without it, Cypri says. Your sights set on the distant Unionville, you resolve to navigate through the bewildering wood.
Hey, and we've discovered his flip side story. Well, now's not a bad time for me to take a look at those, seeing as we've picked up a couple. Let's do characters. I don't think we've got anything for these. We'll ignore those for the time being. Cypri Nombre is a longtime scholar of monsters and monster behavior. Most people in his village simply call him Cypri. He studies monsters for the sake of his daughter, a daughter whom, curiously, no one has ever seen. Either she died or there's more to that story. Plain girl, rain patters at the window. A picture book lies open, paper and paint perfume. Tiny fingers turn the page. The book is upside down, no more light in her eyes, only memories of mother. A painted rainbow bleeds. Okay. That's the one about the husband. Hello there, striking out on your own, are you? Oh, I've been at this long enough to size people up at a glance. Don't worry, I'll make exactly what you need. The story's locked. Same deal? Yeah. She was a quick hire. Her gentle disposition was sure to attract a few more customers. They figured. No one was prepared for the crush of customers that ensued. Whoops. Alright, so not a lot of NPCs to get on that one. What about the slimes? You know what they say, your hero's journey hasn't begun until you've squashed a couple of slimes underfoot. Though the vast majority are killed when they're young, those few that do survive until adulthood reportedly grow large enough to swallow villages whole. That's terrifying. Oh gosh, I didn't even notice the face on this thing. Red fungos are fiercely territorial, killing all who set foot in their land, and turning the corpses into red fungo colonies. Forest creatures fear their swelling ranks. Forest dwellers so covet the red fungo as a health food that they leave monster carcasses in the forest and return to collect them once the fungos have colonized them. Huh. Aw, furball. As these little fluffs mature, their fur grows until it covers their faces. This is quite the existential threat. They entice other monsters to trim their fur so they can see. Aww. These creatures shed rapidly as they age. Upon losing the last of their fur, they cry out the remainder of their bodily fluids. What? Leaving behind a nearly mummified husk. What? No. What the hell? Ugh. Oh, God. Goblins love pranks by nature and frequently leap out in front of adventures they suspect will make good playmates. Sadly, this tends to leave them battered and bruised. Goblins who gain the wisdom of age find ways to slip into the fabric of human life. So yes, that old man gambling with children in the square might as well be a goblin in disguise. Huh. Orc child. Listen carefully in any woodland and you're bound to hear the methodical tap-tapping of these little fellows' woodland mallets. Monsters consider them master craft orcs. Night after night, the orc children scour the corpses of monsters they've killed, searching for raw materials necessary to make their next instrument of death. The careless manner with which ogres brandish their stone axes makes them very dangerous indeed. Most monsters flee the instant they hear an ogre's footfall. Ogres spend their days endlessly training deep in their caves, lest their compatriots mock them for being too scrawny. Oh, I feel kind of bad, actually. Skull Soldier. A powerful curse clings to the bones of these former humans, which pry themselves from the grave in search of release. Dispel the curse to render the bones render them a pile of ordinary bones. There once was a couple consumed by an ill-fated love, only to be reunited in non-death. So overjoyed were they at their good fortune that they both passed into a sweet eternal slumber. Don't have the story on the Lost Soul. With staggering magical prowess, there's with staggering magical prowess, there's at last, the lost souls regained a modicum of humanity. They gazed upon their skeletal forms in despair and vowed to become human once more. And it looks like we're out of monsters. Oh, that's fine. Okay, let's just warp out of here. Let's see. Good night, Wander. Hope nothing bad befalls you. It's been a pleasure working on my Minecraft build while listening to you. Aww. Oh, chapter 2. So the oddball trio sets out on the Queen's quest to slay the dragon. A reckless young man who fancies himself a hero yet cares only for the reward. His traveling companion, a quiet monster. And a proud witch, her hatred for the dragon all-consuming. Each hunt the dragon for a different reason, but unite... It went by too fast, I'm sorry. Hampered every step of the way by those horrid Ivory Order disciples. Their search for information about the dragon brings them to the Sea of Trees known as the Bewildering Wood. There, the heroes meet a strange girl. She needs some pants, but she looks cool. I don't know, I absolutely adore this whole card-based system. It looks so nice. It is possible to customize the appearance of certain game elements such as your avatar, dice, and card design by selecting Customize from the title screen's option menu. Further customization options can be unlocked by completing certain conditions within the game or by purchasing add-on content. Build a collection of customization options to create a game appearance that suits you. Set out for the Bewildering Wood east of Thriston. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to do any more sequence breaking just because I think we missed out on some nice dialogue, and it'd be kind of a shame to have that happen repeatedly. To the Bewildering Wood. Seems like a classic JRPG take on Hand of Fate. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it effectively just recontextualizes a bunch of traditional JRPG mechanics.
A thick fog impedes your vision. You surmise this is in no small part why they call it the Bewildering Wood.
Your ability to manipulate the camera has been restricted. Yet again, unsurprisingly. Navigate the wood. How's the game so far? I played the demo the other day, thought it was pretty cool. This is probably one of the better JRPGs I've played in quite a while. I don't necessarily know where it stacks up in the grand scheme of things, but for a $30 game? I think it's a $30 game. It's incredibly good.
Many a brave soul has set foot in this wood, only to be swallowed up and never seen nor heard from again, the traveler intones gravely. They also tell of a certain tool one needs to get through this place.
Like, so far it doesn't have any character customization or builds, which is a bit of a shame.
Very solid-looking nuts whipped to and fro in the force of the gale. This doesn't bode well for you.
Roll a 4 or higher to avoid the danger. Well. Ow.
Nuts fly off the trees and smack you and your friends right on the head. Everyone's faces screw up in agony.
Ow. Oh well, probably be fine. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna warp out of here. We're gonna go heal fighting monsters out on the field instead. Because 8 damage is a little high. Let's see. But yeah, there's no character customization that I've run into so far. Maybe it shows up later once I have a lot more abilities. I kind of hope that's the case. It would be interesting if I got the ability to... like, upgrade certain cards in different ways. I think that would actually be the best way to do it. Would be to have every character at certain levels, give you, like, a choice A or B. How do you upgrade your equipment, or not your equipment, your attack? So, do you want the fire spell to cost less? Do you want... let's see. Do you want your fire spell to cost less? Do you want your... regeneration to apply to every party member? Stuff like that I think could be really neat. I doubt that's going to be the case, but I think that would probably be the best way to do it if you wanted to have handled healing in this game. But beyond that, it seems like we're going to have a number of different party members, so it might just be more of one of those where you just kind of pick and choose which characters you want in the party. You know, do you want kind of an all-rounder thing? Do you want the black mage, the bruiser, the other bruiser? Let's just kill it. At this point, we're hale and hearty enough. I don't think I need to do more than that. One of my favorite voice actors voicing the Game Master is also a huge bonus for me. I don't actually know which, what he's voice acted before, but the narrator is a huge perk. That would be more of a roguelike. I know, but, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of games need to learn from how roguelikes make variety interesting. I wonder what the budget for this title was, oddly enough. I know Square is experimenting with ways to make classic JRPGs on a budget in the past 5 to 10 years. I mean, they've been doing it in a couple of different ways. There's Octopath Traveler, there's the Pixel remasters. I guess there's...
You hear a beautiful melody flowing from the forest depths. It sounds like singing, or perhaps bird song.
What will you do? Listen carefully.
As you listen closely, you are struck by a sudden dizzy spell. You sense a presence growing closer, but cannot react. The grass rustles, then a monster slowly shows itself from between the blades. It's a harpy. Realizing you've been caught in the harpy's trap, you ready your weapons.
The Tokyo RPG Factory was a big one for sure. They did a few through the Square Collective as well. Yeah. Ooh, harpy. Let's go for the freeze. Hey, there we go. Yeah, Children of the Zodiacs was one of the collective games that still sticks out for me. I liked that game. We never finished it. I think it suffered mostly from it took forever to get through. Like, kind of way too long. I'd love to go back and finish it. I'd love to go back and finish like a gazillion games. But at this point, so much time has passed, I'd almost have to play it again.
For some time after that, you find yourself trembling at the mere sound of a bird's tweet.
After I found my easy mode, it felt too short. Yeah, I think I just hadn't found the easy mode yet.
A message is written on the sign. Seek out the Force Stela hidden deep in these woods.
Find and examine the Force Stela in the bewildering wood. And then for, like, Tokyo RPG Factory, I didn't hate their games, but I didn't really like them. trees bearing very solid looking nuts. Whip. Oh, it's the same thing again. Roll a 4 higher. Hello, Emil. Okay. Ow. Rude. So they did Lost Sphere and they did I Am Setsuna. Did they do anything else that I'd remember? Because we almost finished Lost Sphere. Oninaki. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe RPG Factory is one of those that I desperately wanted to like and just couldn't. There's just enough things kind of low-key wrong with their games that it was just, they always felt mediocre. I think so much of it boils down to they had some serious narrative issues. I think they got close for me, but each one definitely had a big wart. Yeah, that's a way to put it. Whereas, I know, Earthlock was a pretty good budget JRPG. I remember that one being decent. Honestly, I really like the idea of it, though. That more big AAA companies need to experiment with making interesting budget titles. Just kind of here and there. Potentially to let their teams experiment or develop, new ideas. One of my favorite experiments in this kind of manner was when Ubisoft was doing their... Ubisoft's... Oh, shoot. I forget what the name of it was. Oh, damn it. It's the nuts again. Accursed nuts. Okay, we're good.
A bunch of nuts fly off from the trees, but you and your friends hightailed it out of there before any of them could hit you. You have found the southern stela. You smack it and hear a sound off to the west. You'd best head that way next.
They basically have a cooldown rotation, where the studio develops a passion low-budget project every now and then. Yeah, exactly. Because I know plenty of game developers, and I know they're crazy creative and incredibly talented, but many of them are shackled to these big projects. But, if you gave these people kind of the leeway to make games on their own terms with enough budget to get it done and proper direction, while keeping the scope small and interesting, you really could pump out a bunch of really interesting small AAA produced indie games that are actually really solid, just like this. And
Excellent.
I have no idea how long this game is going to be. It could actually turn out that Voice of Cards is an incredibly lengthy JRPG. I don't know. But it feels like this has the potential to, even spark a new franchise. I could see, after, 2 hours of this, I could see a sequel that gets further. Adds some more depth and some other things. One of the ideas I heard was to have a sort of indie arm whose sole purpose was for AAA companies to sort of test the waters and experiment. Yeah. I still think it should be kind of like a rotation so the developers can kind of relax. Because, I feel like developers need more downtime. Because a lot of them are wildly overworked. Because, you see it all the time with a lot of these, big studios where their veteran members start, branching off to make their own games. I feel like if they had some more creative freedom to make their own games within the studio and support structure, you'd actually see a much higher rotation. Also, if you paid your employees better and didn't crunch them to death. That's a separate thing entirely. But, what's a good example? Even the Ubisoft ones. I consider Ubisoft to probably be one of the least interesting companies in terms of, the games that they produce. And they made Child of Light, and
it doesn't look particularly special. You resolve to touch it anyhow.
Okay. But Child of Light was fantastic. As was Grow Home and Grow Up. And I think they also had another one based on like World War I. I never played that one. It seemed way too sad for me. So George Clooney takes a safe acting role so he can take on a directing role for an art film. That's cool. And like, good for him. Oh, there's a guy there. He moved. I didn't notice that. Valiant Hearts. There we go.
About the enemy.
That's a really cool looking, weird, horned tree creature. I bet it needs fire to get killed. Also has hella defense. Because, I don't know, I have no interest in playing most like Ubisoft products. Like I've had Far Cry 6? It's Far Cry 6, right? I think it is. I've had that installed for the past couple of days, ever since it came out, since they just sent me a copy. I feel kind of guilty for not playing it or featuring it at all, but it's just like, I have no passion for that game. Even if it's great or good, like, I just don't care. Whereas, like, this sort of thing I'm super interested in just because... What? Oh, the serum would have been nice. You know... Where is Square Enix going with this? What
the man
will this
sighs, realizing he may never be able to escape with his current tool set.
Can I take him with me? Like this poor guy is just like, I'll never be able to escape with my current... Wait, what the hell? Did I miss this stuff? Oh, protects against the wind. It's okay. The one thing I will say is I must have just passed this on the way in.
You have found the Western Stela, which you swear up and down was not here when you came in. Nevertheless, you give it a smack.
It was not here when I came in. Cool. That AAA tends to be kind of paint by numbers. It's true. But I think one of the things is, one of the main reasons why it's paint by numbers is because it's experimenting is really dangerous from like a game development, and yeah, shareholders hate risk, so got to go with the safe bets all the time. But I feel like if you had a bunch of these kind of like smaller games produced by, you know, I'm not going to say the B team, but you know, people during their downtime, you know, instead of necessarily making DLC all the time, you just make these kind of little micro games compared to the main products. And that's where you take the risks and do the weird things, and if it fails, whatever, your people were effectively in kind of recuperation and vacation mode. And maybe you develop some interesting systems you can use for something else. And then because they're so much smaller, faster, and smaller studio, you don't have to worry about the same budget commitment. Hello. New people.
The next Stela is... You hear someone murmuring? It sounds like a man, but you can't really be sure in these woods.
That is a weirdly sexy looking elf man. You've fulfilled the necessary requirements and unlocked the Woodlander man's story. Cool.
The woman appears to be lost. How do I get out of here? She asks with furrowed brows.
Yeah, the catch is, to shareholders in related suits, any work on a project that isn't a blockbuster is wasted. That always sucks for me. Like, I don't want to say that like publicly traded companies are a trap with game development, but it certainly feels like it. Like I hope Supergiant never goes that direction, because it would be terrifying. You're a beautiful Oh, it's the same thing. What will you do? It's the harpy again. Find the singer.
You take a peek inside the grass and immediately find the owner of the voice. It's a harpy.
Aha.
It seems like the harpy hasn't yet noticed you. You pick up a rock and throw it at the monster's feet. Startled, the monster flaps its wings and flies away. You find some coins scattered about where it stood.
One game I go back to, especially with Ubisoft, that I really liked was the Starlink Battle for Atlas. But they made that game to be kind of this like weird Skylander style Blockbuster.
You have found the Eastern Stela. You see the words Melody of Fortune chiseled into the corner. You have investigated all 4 of the Stela and the bewildering wood. You hear a sound, and it's not all that far away.
And, like, they put a ton of work into that game and partnered with Nintendo and did, like, a bunch of other stuff. Okay. Birdsong again. Find the singer
As if
again.
drawn in by the voice, why won't the right words come to me, she laments, her fingers stopping on the strings. Hearing her sigh, you offer to help her with her song.
Different one this time.
Very well then. Please finish this verse, she responds, then begins to sing.
In a snow-covered town, I hear a voice. How do you continue the song? Q, oi, 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 or it's freaking cold. Q?
You imitate Mars' mule, but the woman just tilts her head to the side in confusion. You pity the poor soul for not comprehending the sheer cuteness of your dear companion. In the end, you gain nothing from the exchange and leave the woman to her song.
There's indie games whose return of interest is probably better than AAA titles. I mean, let's be honest. Stardew Valley, easy one. But obviously you can't always make a Stardew Valley. Well, no, you could have. Like, Nintendo could have been producing plenty of Stardew Valleys or Harvest Moons for ages. They just didn't bother because it wasn't worth it for them. Trees bearing very solid. Oh, it's the stupid nut tree again. Get out of here. But, like, I really liked Starlink Battle for Atlas. I thought it was actually a really solid game. But they did too much, and they had the stupid, like, physical toys that were tied to the game, and then, like, kind of extensive DLC, where it's like, hey, if you actually want the good guns, you have to buy them, like, outside of the base game, and it just felt really dirty and scummy, in a way that, like, I can totally understand why people didn't buy that game. But it was actually good. It's just, you know, they screwed themselves over really hard. Holy shit, I need to hit that thing with fire. And, you know, I keep going back to it. If they had just had that be kind of one of their like, Ubisoft indie game things, with, like, a much smaller scope, way less grind, and nothing, like, extensive DLC-wise, I think that game could have actually been a banger, that people would have really enjoyed. But they screwed themselves over by going full Ubisoft with an experimental product. Aren't the Harvest Moon and Rune Factory games kind of niche? Niche, but with an incredibly passionate fan base.
You examine the stela. The message carved into the stela reads, "Play in tune with the forest." You hold the woodland flute you received from the good doctor in Thriston.
Play the woodland flute? Hell yeah.
Doot 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 doodly doot 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 doo. You blow a handful of pleasant enough notes into the woodland flute. You soon become aware of accompanying percussion, which reveals itself to be a series of impeccably timed footfalls racing toward you.
I love this narrator.
A young woman appears before you. "That was absolutely dreadful," she whinges, her jaunty gait betraying her enjoyment. She calls herself Ridis and declares herself a woodlander, resident of the bewildering wood. By sheer coincidence, the flute on which you played those notes was one designed to call the woodland people to your side. Stunned by your good fortune, you ask Ridis to lead you eastward out of the forest. What luck! She agrees far more readily than you ever anticipated. But, she continues, extending her hand, you'll have to hand over the Woodland flute first. You hand over the flute, firmly restating that she may have it on the condition she leads you out of the bewildering wood. Ridis plucks the woodland flute out of your hands with glee and begins playing it as she skips away.
She's worse than us.
Well, playing is a generous term. It sounds as though she may as well be murdering the poor thing. Ridis makes it clear that the fastest way out of the woods is through Woodland, where she lives.
I hope she's
It's
a party
that
member.
away, Ridis says gleefully, pointing past the stela before you.
I could use more party members. That poor flute. Absolutely. And possibly a path to the woodland has been hiding behind the stela the whole time. Take a shortcut through the bewildering wood towards the woodland. Whee. That poor flute. I know. Enter woodland. I love the humor on this game.
Welcome to Woodland, Ridis says, gesturing out over the village. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm quite busy for the rest of the day, so you'll have to wait till tomorrow to leave the forest, she says, and makes her way home.
Retire to the Woodland Inn once you've thoroughly explored Woodland. Fair enough. Hello.
Welcome to the Forest Oasis, the man greets you warmly. You happen upon a man greedily guzzling well water. Could it truly be that much better than ordinary water?
We've learned the requirements for his own story. Oh, I can't guzzle well water. 0 out of 10.
Apparently she's heard rumors of the dragon destroying another town somewhere. Our village would burn down so easily, she mutters, perhaps a bit more afraid of the symptom than the cause.
Next day, the town kicks her out for sound pollution. How great would that be? She just straight up is just like, can I join your party? I've been evicted.
You learn that Ridis's family is mired in debt and living hand to mouth. And I know how they got in so much trouble, the rumor mongerer says deliciously.
She looks so innocent for this.
We are not in the business of meddling in the personal affairs of others, Melanie says curtly, cutting her off.
Kind of appreciate that the Game Master uses the same voice for all the characters in varying tones. It works great! Like, this whole game is structured so simply, yet so perfectly.
This shortcut is reserved for use by Woodland citizens only, the guard barks, clearly unwilling to let you pass.
Okay, so I don't actually know what the deal with the carriage shop is. I'm gonna pop in just to see what it does.
Welcome.
Holy shit, no.
100 gold pieces will get you wherever you're headed, the master says as you set foot in the carriage shop. You will be instantly transported to any location you've previously visited. Travel for 100 gold pieces?
Nope. Nope, no thank you. I am perfectly capable of perfectly fine with never talking to that man ever again. Okay, so what kind of goodies does he sell? Okay, we have Ravagers. We have another mercenary sword. Looks like it's about the same. Ravagers increases his damage tremendously. Knight's armor. Slows him down. 9 defense ain't bad, though. What else we got? Dryad's garb. Good defense, good speed. Slightly more defense, no speed. And the usual. I think I'm going to give her the adventurer's attire. The extra speed, while nice, we don't actually want her to necessarily be faster. Or do we? Maybe we do. No new weapons or no new weapons of any note though. Yeah, we'll just make her faster than him. Okay, and then the Ravagers. Buy and equip. Perfect. No, the easiest way I would describe this game would be cohesive. That every single aspect of it really... it makes sense and it fits together incredibly well. It's a little sluggish. That's like the one thing I don't like about it. That it takes a little while to get through everything. I feel like I shouldn't get rid of the Sacred Staff, because that sounds like special. A certain people's garb. I don't know. I'll sell some of these things. I might hold on to that iron armor, seeing as we know there's an event that references it. Looks like I'm actually halfway full up on items, too. I should probably use them more often. Elixir syndrome has me bad. Anyway, let's go talk to Ridis, who's probably just duding. Hopefully she joins the party. I like more party members. I thought she had a giant pickaxe, but no, that's a bow.
Ridis pores over a book while practicing on the Woodland flute. She remains dreadful at it. The instant you begin speaking, she nearly leaps out of her skin and hides the book. She somehow hadn't noticed you. I thought you were the debt collectors. You can't sneak up on me like that, she stammers, struggling to regain her composure. You take note of a woman who appears quite ill. As it turns out, she is none other than Ridis's mother. She is in no small amount of pain. Will you give her something to ease her suffering?
Oil pot. Salve. The other two are
item
terrifying.
you've proffered has no effect on her illness. But I appreciate the thought all the same, she says with a smile. Ridis's mother hands you mysterious card 3 as a token of her gratitude.
Well, got it. The only thing I don't like about this game so far is the cards flipping to show the new terrain, like you said. It seems a bit sluggish. That's the only problem I have with this game, that you have to wait.
Speaking of Ridis, who has been preparing the medicine that helps her get through the day. She blames her illness, and therefore herself, for making Ridis's life so difficult. The more she talks, the more her face drops.
Okay, is this the DLC card designs? Nope. I can flip them on, though. I should probably check to see if I have all of the DLC designs. Even installed. Let's see. How the hell do I even get to that? Oh, it's via this way. If I go to other title screen. I'll flip them on for the time being. Frankly, I don't actually think the DLC is worth it for this game. It's nice, but it doesn't change too much. Let's see. I should have all of it, yeah? Yeah, I've got all of it. Alright, let's, customize. Avatar. So I'm gonna keep this. I don't actually know where to get the Mar avatar. It's kind of cute, but no. I like the traditional one. Card face. So, there's the pixel stuff, which is kind of cute, but I think I'm gonna go with the Dress of the Bereft. Which actually looks really nice. Mostly. Okay, card back. Oh, shoot. I didn't notice this. There's default. I guess we've been playing with the Queenly? Or no, Queenly. We probably don't have access to Queenly. I like the golden dragon, though. Flipping that on. Yeah, because I'm not big on Emil's pattern. And the ancient mural looks good, but don't care that much. Battle board. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Vice one. Table. Let's switch the table back to the default. I want the ebony table, but I don't know how to get that. The white of the background is just a little distracting. Dice. I'm pretty happy with the Emil dice. And background music. Let's do the Devilo music. Let's see how much that changes. It might just be the Devilo soundtrack for a while. Oh, it's this song. It's real good. Okay. Ridis pours over the book. Okay. Not much to do here, unfortunately. Oh, gotta go to the inn. That's what we have to do. Wait, yeah, it seems like they actually just have kind of their own fully recontextualized Nier soundtrack that they're using as the background music for this game.
Been a while since we've had any outsiders, the innkeeper says, beckoning the party inside. It turns out this inn is simply a place where the poor, lost souls trapped in the bewildering wood may recover. You may stay as long as you like, free of charge.
It fits so well, too.
The wooden dining table practically groans under the weight of the platters upon it, all brimming with meats and vegetables from the bewildering wood.
Okay, I'm gonna have to switch it back. I didn't quite realize that Mara was going to be replaced full sail with Emil. And I'll be honest, Emil scares the shit out of me.
I've certainly earned this, you say to yourself, as you slide into your seat at the table, positively drooling over the feast before you. Melanie takes no note of your boorish behavior, uttering a small prayer of thanksgiving before reaching for a plate of vegetables. Mar sits, eyes fixed on the food upon the table, statuesque in his stillness. What a good boy.
Oh, I was really hoping the narrator would try and narrate that.
Mar clears the entire table in a matter of seconds, even emptying the water barrel in a single gulp. He lets out a self-satisfied burp that sends a small jet of just-drank water arcing out onto the floor. The sun sinks low, and the day draws to a close. A scream pierces the silence. Fire! You leap out of bed, adrenaline coursing through your veins. The others follow suit, and before long you've burst through the front door and into the street. Ridis's house is ablaze, a nearby villager screams.
To Ridis's house. But first, it just auto-saved. Let's see. I'm just gonna save over this one. Not that it really matters too much. Saving. I'm gonna change some clothing before we continue. I really wish I could actually do this customization otherwise. I think I'll switch the music back too. As much as I love the Nier music, and I'm sure as good as it is, I've heard it so much that it actually is not that good for me anymore. That I really like to listen to the Nier music. Let's do... Nope. Sorry. Wait, no. It was that. Card face. Like, I absolutely adore the Nier soundtrack. But... I listen to it on loop while I'm, like, painting or doing just other things. And so it's kind of one of those where I want to hear the new stuff instead, as good as it is. Oh, let's see. One of you played Happy Game yet? No. It is on my list, but I am busy. Wait, is this by the same guys that made Nier? Yup. Yeah, it's written by Yoko Taro and developed by Square Enix, who made Nier. Maybe not all of Nier? I'm not quite sure. I know they didn't originally develop the old games. I think that was Yoko Taro's, like, in-house studio. But they picked up Yoko Taro and the Nier franchise. Did Automata, then went back and redid the original Nier game. And now Yoko Taro just kind of works for Square Enix doing a lot of games. Because I know they've been doing a lot of mobile games with them. And then this. And then I think more Nier-related products sometime in the future, including the mobile games. But honestly, just having them on hand to do the writing for different games sounds like a great idea.
My mother is still inside, Ridis shrieks, darting past you to fetch water from the well south of the village.
Follow Ridis to the well, south of the woodland. Bah.
Douse the flames with water, shouts the man. Water from the well.
Oh, I have to actually stand on her, not the well.
Ridis is gathering water in an attempt to fight the blaze all on her own.
Why is nobody else helping? You can spare no one to help her. Mar?
Mar's eyes light up. He scrambles over the edge of the well and sucks the well dry in an instant. He pokes at his swollen belly and gestures toward Ridis's house, as if to say, "Get me back there, quick."
He's so cute. Like, if I could switch the character outfits on a person-by-person basis, I'd switch the main character. But Mar is just too cute to switch. He's the best boy. Well, I think this is what justifies Ridis joining the party.
Quickly, put it out. You have to put it out, Ridis screams at Mar. Mar douses the house with the water he sucked up from the well.
Damn.
The fire is reduced to mere embers, and all is well. Or so you think. Something darts out from behind the house and attacks.
Oh, did the mother turn into like a werebeast? No. That's like a freaky hellhound thing. Happenstance cards will trigger each turn during this battle. Decreases fire damage dealt to all allies and enemies by 2. Interesting. Okay, it's recovering. Happenstances can sometimes occur during a battle. You can see their effect with the Y button. That probably helps us. Let's go with the freeze. There we go. So, Wander, heard you play Final Fantasy XIV. How's that going? It's real good. Final Fantasy XIV. So I've actually been playing through all of the Final Fantasy games in sequence because of, I mean, one, because my friend Penta had said, like, hey, you should try it, you should play all of them, but also because I wanted to see, like, hey, what are the best Final Fantasy games? Because, like, 14 is so dang good. Treat all allies recovery rate. Useful. How much damage is that? It's not too bad. But the writing on it, the music, and I mean even the gameplay I think is pretty solid. And so I've been enjoying that thoroughly. Great thing about this game, by the way, I was going to say, bosses are affected by status effects. That is huge for me. It is so frustrating playing a JRPG where a boss is just like, just a regular ogre, and I'm like, I'm gonna try and poison it, and it's just like, why would you do that? Boss is immune to poison. It's like, why? Whereas this one is just like, yeah, you can freeze the boss and just wreck it. But yeah, we just got into Heaven's Sword the other day. because A Realm Reborn takes for freaking ever. But I have to say, like, it's been a really solid experience. Belle's making weird noises. I think she wants me to stop. We will finish this up, and then we will be done. There we go. Battle tactics. Even got an achievement for that. Woo! That's some goodies. Deckard levels up. Yeah, it's been a while. Acquired Would-Be Hero. Recover 3 HP after combat ends. Abilities are skills that confer passive effects in battle. Take effect automatically without needing to be equipped. Yeah. Mar leveled up. Doesn't look like either of them get abilities, though.
The fiery beast dispatched. You return to putting out the last of the blaze with Mar's help. Ridis's mother, now safe, tells you the creature came out of nowhere and set the house aflame.
I was assuming she was going to be, like, dead or something.
What would bring a creature of fire to a place like this, you wonder?
The next day. Oh, open up the menu, select Setup, and then select Abilities to see the abilities you've acquired. View your abilities? Sure. Is this where character customization comes from? Maybe? We've got that one. We don't have anything else, so it's probably not that helpful yet. Hopefully we get a lot more.
Light breaks on a new day, and the commotion of the fire feels but a nightmare. You lead your party to Ridis's house to ask for safe passage out of the bewildering wood.
Speak with Ridis at her home. Enter the woodland? Yes.
Though spared from complete collapse, Ridis's home has been thoroughly scorched. Ridis sits alone in one of its rooms, the air thick with the smell of char. There shouldn't be any fire creatures for miles, she grumbles. She says the monster appeared while she was playing the Woodland flute last night. As to why any monsters, let alone fire monsters, appeared, well, despite the circumstances, you ask Ridis to lead you out of the bewildering wood as promised. I did promise that, didn't I? She says wearily, rising from her seat. The poor girl is clearly still in shock. Why do you want to venture out beyond the bewildering wood anyway? She inquires, as she gathers this and that in preparation to leave.
What reason will you give her? We're looking for the dragon.
We are in search of the dragon, you say valiantly, adding, the reward will be significant should we defeat him. Honesty is the best policy. Sounds like a real risky way to make a living, she replies flatly, feigning interest. A group of Ivory Order people came through here just the other day, she explains. You connect the dots with malice. Those three, you seethe. At last, Ridis is ready to depart for the edge of the bewildering wood.
Ridis joins your party. Maximum of 3 characters can participate in battles. Select party and setup. Set up your party? Sure. Let's try her. Probably instead of Mar. Mar is a good boy and I love him. Now here's the question. Is there EXP share? I certainly hope there is. But there's a very real possibility there isn't, and I'm going to be possibly upset about that. I am a big proponent of EXP share in games. You know, just make all of my characters the same level. Don't have them level up separately from each other. Just have your party level thing and everybody's just that level. Makes things so much easier.
This road takes you to the east side of the bewildering wood. but you'd be hard-pressed to find your way without a woodlander's help, the guard warns. Upon seeing that Ridis is with you, he steps aside and lets you through.
Alright, jump to the shortcut.
The eastern portion of the woods certainly does not want for thick, soupy fog.
Your ability to manipulate the camera has been restricted. So the Ivory Trio are actually bad, or just from this group's perspective? They're kind of dicks.
You turn away, ready to lead the party deeper into the bewildering wood. Wait just a moment, you lot, calls the voice of an older man from somewhere behind you. Ridis appears to be familiar with him. She calls him Mr. O. Here you are, young lady, he says, handing her a slip of paper.
The debt collector. Invoice for rental property damage and associated repairs totaling 1 million gold.
Oh dear. Further, Mr. O explains, Ridis did not have a fire insurance policy at the time of the conflagration, and so she shall have to pay in full. I'll thank you kindly to pay by the end of the month. Bye now, Mr. O says, receding from view as he returns to the forest. Hee hee. Ridis lets out a bemused chuckle, her demeanor remarkably calm for what has just transpired. She pulls the woodland flute from her cloak and begins softly playing. Ridis's ear-splitting performance, shall we say, draws monsters out from behind the trees. Within moments, they are nearly upon you.
What? Does that, like, catch Mr. O as well? Maybe. Deal damage, deal dark damage, inflict poison if roll is 4 or higher. Ooh. Either that or she's actually just evil. Both are possible. I'm not sure. Nah, didn't kill him. Alright, let's finish this up and then we'll stop. That's either a lot of money or a little. Don't know the inflation in the Woodland's economy. Well, considering we only have like
Nice
a couple
work.
thousands, that's a lot of money. Ooh, that's some bad poison. She does good damage though.
Good work.
Alright. Get a lot of EXP. Life is good. Okay, well, I could keep going, and I want to keep going. However,
That's
hello.
odd. I must have made a mistake, Ridis says, burying her face in her old book once more.
What do you ask of Ridis? I wonder if she becomes a summoner.
She opens the book to a particular page and thrusts it in your face. You can't tell anyone in the village I let you see this, okay? It's a page of sheet music with a note scrawled beside it that reads, "Play this lucky tune to reverse your financial fortunes and make money woes a thing of the past." No matter how many times I played this last night, our debt never went down, she fumes, incensed. You inspect the page a bit more carefully. Off in a corner, in letters so small as to be illegible, another message reads, "May summon monsters if played incorrectly." You finally see that so long as Ridis holds the flute, this is nothing more than a monster conjuring melody. You snatch the woodland flute from her hands. You have lost your flute-playing privileges, you inform her. But I'll never escape from this mountain of debt without it, she cries, clearly still believing in the melody of fortune. Melanie quietly opines that while Ridis is many things, bright is not one of them.
I love this game. It's so good. Well, I know what I'm doing tomorrow, but for now, it is late and I need something. I need some tea. Alright, so we're gonna save here. Perfect. We got a lot done. I'm curious how long this game is. I'll have to look it up. Maybe between sessions, or we'll just put some more time in tomorrow. We will see. Because I think that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But for now, have a lovely evening. I can't currently menu. Oh, maybe I have to enter the menu from here. Ah, there's our answer. Alright, perfect.